Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Allison, and this is my February plan with me. This month I really wanted to do something cozy and sweet, and it made me think of crocheting, which is something that I like to do in my spare time, is work on different crochet projects. This is a little heart that I made that inspired my monthly page setup. And the main colors that I'll be using in this setup are pinks and purples, like this orchid purple brush pen. I use this one a lot and I think it's such a nice color. Now I'm going through with my micron pen, outlining it because I want it to look like a yarn strand. Now I'm working on my crochet heart, and to give it a stitch effect, I'm just doing a pattern series of these V's, or they actually kind of look like hearts, which is pretty fitting for this month, I think. Going in with my Crayola super tip marker, and even though at this point my wrist was already feeling a bit cramped from drawing all those stitches, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So now I'm working on my quote page, and this is something that I saw off of Pinterest. It says, "Stitch away the stress," which I think is pretty fitting since one of the reasons why I like crocheting is that it's a stress reliever for me. And I actually didn't start crocheting until last year, which, as you know, was a pretty stressful year in general for a bunch of reasons. So one of the crochet projects that I first made are actually these nesting baskets that I have my crochet hooks in and my pens and markers in. Now onto my calendar spread. So I decided to do the same stitch effect as the border for the calendar. I'm just using this pink marker and just going around. And again, this made my wrist cramp up a bit, but I thought it turned out cute. So I wanted the title to look like it was from a yarn strand again, so I'm using the same orchid purple and just coloring in a ball of yarn, and then later I'll outline it with my micron pen. Now I'm just adding in a little basket of yarn, which I thought looked pretty cute. And you can never have too much yarn, right? Since the rest of the page is so busy, I just wanted to keep the inside of the calendar really minimal. So for my habit and mood tracker pages, I wanted it to look like that same strand of yarn has flowed over onto these pages. So I just made the habit and mood title with it and added in some little hearts there. And then going over again, tracing with my Micron pen. So for my mood tracker, I thought it'd be pretty fun to have a scarf, and each section of the scarf would be a different day. So at the end of the month, I'll have a pretty colorful scarf. And making a scarf is actually one of the crochet projects that I want to do next. I just haven't gotten around to it, but definitely on my to-do list. Now for my weekly, I'm just making a tiny little calendar so I can see what week I'm on. And I'm making each day of the week into a crochet hook. Now, I didn't mention this earlier, but the marker that I'm using is this metallic Sharpie marker, and it's really nice. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but this marker gives it such a nice little shine to it that I really like. And the camera had turned off on me, so you didn't see, but on the left-hand page, I wrote a little note there saying currently, and that's where I like to write down what I'm currently reading or which audiobook I'm listening to for the month. And on the right page, I added a little note section and then just adding in another basket of yarn there. So now I'm just going in with my black Posca marker and labeling the days of the week. And of course, I messed up the days of the week because it's just not a true weekly if I don't mess up at least one time. So I fixed it with just covering it up with my Sharpie again and then relabeling it. Now lastly, my monthly highlights page. You saw that I skipped a couple pages, and that's where I'm going to put the rest of my weeklies in. But I always like to include a monthly highlights page with my setups because this is a place where I can print out some pictures and tape in here, or just write down any memorable moments that happened during the month. And to decorate it, again, I went with another big yarn ball and just made the yarn strand go through some different little heart loops. So that completes the setup. Now time for the flip through. I had a lot of fun creating this month's setup, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I'll also link my previous setups at the end of this video. Until next time, bye! Thank you.